The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Malacanang slams the International Criminal Court for eyeing to reopen the investigation on President Duterte's war on drugs. In a statement, acting presidential spokesperson Martin Andanara said the administration has investigated the deaths from the lawful drug enforcement operations. Andanara also insisted that Duterte's drug war was supported by the United Nations through the 3-year joint program on human rights that took effect in July last year. The palace official told the ICC to let the efforts of the Philippine government run their course. The Department of Energy says it will continue to pursue talks with service contractors on exploration in the West Philippine Sea. This as the country no longer pursues its negotiations with China for a joint oil and gas exploration.
Talks with China
Companies
for a joint oil and gas exploration in the West Philippine Sea. It has been on the table.
Now, companies include state-run Philippine National Oil Company Exploration Corporation, Nido Petroleum Philippines, and PXP Energy Corporation. Now, as of November 2021, they hold service contracts to explore gas and oil deposits in the area. Now, one former Supreme Court justice says the Duterte administration has failed to address the country's dispute with China in the West Philippine Sea. Maricel Halili has the details.
The Philippines has terminated its talks with China for a joint oil and gas exploration in the West Philippine Sea. Foreign Affairs Chief Chodoro Locsin Jr. said it has been on the table for 3 years, but they have not achieved anything. He also insisted that the government will not allow it to push through at the expense of our sovereignty.
One step forward from where we stood on the edge of the abyss is a drop into constitutional crisis. That explains the sudden pullback on my part.
Former Associate Justice Antonio Carpio said the government made the right decision because when the two parties were about to sign the third and last agreement, Beijing wanted to delete some provisions.
China said, we will not agree to enter into the third agreement unless you change that provision. Delete the provision which says the oil and gas belongs to the Philippines. Delete also the provision that Philippine law will govern.
However, he still gave the Duterte administration a failing mark in the issue of the disputed territory. Carpio said Duterte should have not allowed Chinese vessels to fish in the country's exclusive economic zone.
Chinese just scared us because Duterte allowed himself to be bullied by China. That's why we're back to square one. We should follow what Malaysia did and what Indonesia did.
Moving forward, Carpio encouraged the incoming administration to submit to the arbitration. It means that ASEAN countries like the Philippines must identify the boundaries of their own territories. The government must also encourage other nations to sign in order to recognize the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Fuel prices are expected to rise again next week. Unioil Philippines projects that diesel prices would increase by up to 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter, while the prices of gasoline would go up by 20 centavos per liter. The Health Department has expanded the administration of COVID-19 booster to all minors aged 12 to 17 years old. Now, this came a week after the agency rolled out the shots only to immunocompromised members of the age group. And numerous activities are now being held in different parts of Metro Manila in celebration of the Pride Month. These include the QC Pride Festival in Quezon Memorial Circle and Metro Manila Pride's Atin Ang Kulayaan in Pasay City. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.